Hello, I'm Sarah Pemberton, and I'm a vegan. Never thought I'd say that. How many people in here are vegetarian? Put a hand up if you're vegetarian. Wait. Vegetarians first. Thank you very much, because there's an order for it. Vegetarians? Okay. And then who's a vegan in here? Oh, great. We've got a great collective at the back there. Wonderful. Now, I never thought I'd say that I'm a vegan. Never gave it any consideration whatsoever. And it started with being vegetarian first. And I didn't expect to do that either. But it was about a year and a half ago, January last year, that I had this voice in my head saying, stop eating meat. Stop eating. And it really was an audible voice. And it was like someone was behind me saying this. And I was like, oh. And I was like, why? And it's like, the words were very clear. Antibiotics, hormones, GM feed. And I was like, okay, well, there could be something in this. So I decided to stop eating supermarket meat. I stopped eating meat at home. And I gave myself the caveat that I could go out if I get to a nice restaurant where you would expect them to have good quality meat, know where the source of that meat came from, and that it would be ethical. So I gave myself that caveat. When I went out, it was actually the ECI in June last year when I sort of kind of put this into practice. And I stopped drinking milk at home as well. And it was something that seemed to be quite a natural thing to do. And I found it actually quite easy. I really enjoy cooking. I love cooking. Some people, when they've had my food, because I really like to put it on the plate nicely, do a nice presentation of it, and call it food theatre. I come from a theatre background. I'm a trained actress and dancer and singer. And so everything for me is a bit of performance. And it's been a strange journey. And I knew that there was something telling me to go all the way. And it's been a very gradual process. I've not beaten myself up about this. Cheese, eggs, they've been the things that have been the last on the list. And it was only about a month ago that I gave up the eggs. And I announced it on Facebook, and I got quite a few people supporting me on that, which was great. And then said, oh, you're going to stop eating cake? And I was like, oh, I hadn't thought about that. Because when you do actually cross over from the vegetarian to the vegan, that is another step again. And you really do have to be looking at the ingredients. Someone very kindly got me a sandwich a couple of weeks ago from Marks and Spencer's. And I said, oh, can you get me something vegetarian, like no cheese? Falafel things are great sort of go-to. And it was a spinach falafel wrap. And I was like, great. And I started eating it. And I thought, oh, I'll just read the ingredients. I read the ingredients a lot now. And I was like, oh, it's got cheese in it. Bugger. But I finished eating it anyway, because I hadn't officially given up cheese at that point. So I was okay with that. But what I found is that when you go out, what do? Are people accommodating? And you know what? They are. People are really accommodating. I went to a restaurant recently in Farringdon, and I said, oh, have you got something vegetarian, vegan on the menu? Because they had like a halloumi dish. And I said, well, when you go out for a meal, you want something that's a main event on your plate. So he said, oh, it was a halloumi thing. We'll just take the halloumi out. I said, but what's going to replace it? And I got invited to talk to the chef, and we created something from the rest of the vegetables on the menu. And he went to town on it. He got some nice courgettes that he grilled, and he then stuffed it with some nice peppery thing, and he presented it really beautifully on the plate, and it looked wonderful, and it tasted wonderful as well. So actually had a really good dialogue with him. I also asked him, so do you know where your meat comes from, out of interest? And he says, no. And I thought that was quite interesting. The main thing that's sort of come out of this for me is what I'm now doing is #cleanfood. Because I think that we are having our rights taken away in some way of what we're putting into our bodies. You can eat meat from a supermarket, but where does it really come from? How has that animal been treated? And that's something else that has really come into my vision, my space about how animals are treated. I'm not here to be all sort of like preachy about it. What I'm saying is it's important that people become informed of where things come from and what's going into the body and how it works with your body and what it does to you. So I'm not here to say to people, give up meat. But if you are going to eat meat, be conscious about it. And that's the thing, it's about becoming a conscious eater. And that's about the whole thing of life. It's about being conscious and actually being aware of your choices. And what you're choosing is not detrimental. And it actually enhances your life. It raises your vibration. That's something that's very important to me about raising vibration. This is where the heart thing comes from. And it's love for me is my vibration. If you ask me, what's your one word that describes you? And it is love. I'm about bringing people together, letting people understand each other better. And it all comes into one space. So I do make a point of going into places now and really sort of pointing out what is vegan and what is not. Even today I went into Marks and Spencer's and I saw all the salads and everything. What can I eat? What can I eat? And actually they are getting more imaginative now, which is great. So I'm doing this for myself at home. But where am I taking it beyond me? Well, over the years I've done productions and networking events. I've run high-level networking events in Mayfair for several years. So I've enjoyed pulling people together over great food. And it was through my network that I met Brenton Smith, who's actually here tonight, sitting over there. He owns a bicycle shop called Harbour Cycles in Loughborough Junction. And he said that I want to create something that's beyond just the bike shop. And I've been doing these little supper clubs, but I don't really want to run it myself. Have you got any ideas? Do you think you might be able to do something with this? And I was like, well, yes, I'd love to. And so being a concept developer, I've created several TV programs that will be on TV eventually, so watch out, they will come out. And putting together events, and I just had this blank canvas, really. I had a bike shop where all the bikes can go out of the back, 4 tables can come out, and you've got space for 26 guests to come and dine. And Brenton is a vegetarian, knowing he wants to go vegan as well. And that very much aligned with what I was doing as well. So, well, obviously, it's a vegan pop-up then. So I then developed some themes to put these nights around. So Bespoken Dinners, the underpinning of it is about bringing people into the consciousness of healthy living and combining that with conscious business as well. So we have 6 themes of Bespoken Dinners. We have Ecosphere, which is about health, nutrition and fitness and what's good for you and the planet. And we're very fortunate that our opening Ecosphere night will be co-hosted with Skip Archimedes. I don't know if you've heard of Skip Archimedes. He's a 2-time champion gymnast, and he actually won one of those titles after he broke his back. And he was told that he would never walk again, and he'd be in a wheelchair. But he wasn't having any of that. And he decided that he was going to do everything in his power to heal himself. So, of course, not only with attitude, his attitude was very, very important in being able to help his recovery, but he decided to choose this vegan life, to choose a plant-based life of diet. And through that, and yoga as well, because obviously getting the physicality and getting the oxygen into the body is very important. And so he's going to be co-hosting this Ecosphere event with us. We also have a night called All Things Bike, because it's in a bike shop, of course. And that would be for all bike enthusiasts and people that want to know more. And we're also going to be combining with a newly set up company called Bespoke Tours. And they do tours around the country and abroad. And Brenton himself is going on the first one in May. Where is it? July. In Amsterdam, yes, Amsterdam, which is obviously great for bikes, very flat as well. So, and I'm a keen cyclist myself. I've not so much now, but I used to do 70 miles a week commuting on my bike in and out of town. And I feel fearless when I'm on my bike. People say, oh, isn't it dangerous going on your bike running around London? I'm like, no, it's fine as long as you've got your eyes open. So, so we've got all things bike. And then we have poetry and insights. My very dear friend, Simon Welsh, he's an amazing poet. And he's going to be leading the proceedings with his quantum poetry and an opportunity for people to share their theories about life and the universe. Then we've got celebration nights, which will be for that special occasion, for that special vegan who wants to persuade all their friends to come and join them and celebrate. And then we've got Buddy Up, which will be for vegetarians and vegans and those that want to know more about the lifestyle and get support, like a mentor buddy up system. And it could be kind of a bit of a date night, I think, as well. Because when it comes to being finding that partner in your life, if you're like a hardcore vegan and you've got a hardcore carnivore, there could be a bit of a tricky thing going on in the kitchen. So people just generally tend to gravitate towards people that are like-minded and in that same vibration. So that's Buddy Up. And then we have the Synergy 16 Matrix event, which is much more focused on the conscious business. And that is actually what we're going to be launching tomorrow night. It's going to be a flavour of the Synergy 16 Matrix. So Bespoken Dinners is an unique, intimate, and private restaurant setting in the quirky setting of a bike shop. So people will come along, they have their half-an-hour welcome drink to buzz around each other, and they'll see all their place names on the table. And they won't quite know what's going on, but it's all intimate, just for them. No one else is coming in, it's them for the whole evening. And then over the first course, which will be arriving prompt at 7:30, so they'll be all drinking their drink, having their little champagne. And the soup will be coming out whilst they're still chatting to each other, and I'll make the announcements. Ladies and gentlemen, this soup, as you can see, is arriving. Please do take your seats. And then we'll be mixing it up between each course. People will be moving around the tables so we can maximise that networking. And over the first course, I've invited guests to share about their businesses, because that then frames them up for when they're sitting on the tables and moving around. And something that I've done to help to promote these people is I've created these flyers for each of those guests that want to share, and I've been putting it around on Facebook. It's not a usual kind of thing that happens when you go for a dinner, but I'm really about celebrating people's businesses, celebrating people's passions, and creating collaborations and a community, and about pulling people together and really celebrating what they do. Because I love sharing resources, I love sharing people's hearts. And so we're also going to have some artwork on the wall. We've got an artist in residence, Khadija, who unfortunately is not going to be able to be there tomorrow because she's not very well, which means there's one ticket left. So if there is one person in here who wants to maybe come along tomorrow night, there is one ticket left to come along. So again, it's about celebrating different aspects of different sectors. So I think we've got a florist, we've got Simon Welsh, the poet's coming along, who's going to be doing a live poetic portrait. I'm not going to tell you what that is because you'd have to be there. But you could come to a Poetry and Insights night and then you'll find out exactly what a live poetic portrait is. And then it's going to be going on until about 10:30, and then you'll get kicked out at 11:30. So for me, I'm really about bringing people together over great food and sharing people's businesses. And I've always wanted to have a restaurant, and I never could imagine that it would have been a vegan pop-up. But I'm very excited about the new venture, and the great thing for me and Brenton is that it's pretty low cost being a pop-up. I don't know if you know how pop-ups really work, but we don't have to have all the business of having the whole kitchen there the whole time, which is fantastic. So if anyone here does know a vegan chef as well, we're looking for people to come onto the roster, because we will be, obviously, I have one on the books right now, but she will be busy because these vegan chefs are in demand. So if anyone does know of any other vegan chefs, please do come and let me know. Oh, we have one at the back over there. Oh, come and see me later. Of course, if you are a vegan as well, come and tell me, and we'll put you on the list and make sure that you get our messages. But I want to stress, you can go without meat for one night. How many people here actually have meat-free days? Does anybody here have meat-free days? That's really comforting. That's really nice that people do that. It is. I mean, the actual meat industry, I don't know if anyone's heard of the new documentary called Cowspiracy. Anyone heard of Cowspiracy? But it was quite shocking to know that the cow industry, not including pigs or chickens or any other meat, but the cow industry alone in America produces more greenhouse gases than the whole entire US transport industry. And that was quite a shocking statistic. And the amount of water that goes into producing one hamburger is 660 gallons of water. So there's just some real food for thought to think about there. It's all about being conscious and just being more aware of what you're putting into your bodies. So that's what I'm going to say for tonight. Thank you very much for listening. And if you do want to know more, please do come and see me later. Thank you.